Let's just do a prayer real quick. All right, baby.
Mhm.
Father God, I just want to thank you for this moment. Thank you for this day. Thank you for allowing us to get here safely. I surrender my will, my plans, and anything else that I probably thought about, and I just ask that you fill this room with your will and your purpose. I pray that this is a safe space for clarity, for grace, for patience, and love. Most importantly, love. I thank you for my amazing wife, for being here, and I just thank you for allowing this moment to happen. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Let's give it up for that. So check this out, y'all. What's going on? Welcome to, the episode 3 of the Keisha Husband Podcast. Let's give it up for Keisha Husband Podcast. And listen, this whole time, the entire time, you're going to hear that. That's my favorite button. That is probably my favorite button, babe.
Mm-hmm.
And let me introduce who I have right here. Right here, I have the one, the only, who God used as the muse for this. I want to give it up for none other than Keisha, my wife. Let's welcome Keisha to the Keisha Husband Podcast.
Hey, I'm so happy to be here.
How you feeling, baby?
Amazing.
You good?
I'm getting there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I just want to say thank you for, agreeing to do this episode on, because this is really like our date night.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you allowing date night to be here tonight.
I had to sacrifice something.
Listen, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And this is coming off of your trip. You just got back too, and you still smell like Punta Cana.
I do.
Yeah, you look like Punta Cana. You know the pictures you were sending me. You was glowing and everything.
Mhm.
You was looking good, and I love that on you. So I'm glad you went.
Thank you.
You had a great time.
Thank you for letting me go.
Listen, I just felt like it's never a bad idea to invest in the happiness and the peace of your wife.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And I feel like that's what it was. So I'm glad you went, because every picture you sent, anytime we were able to FaceTime, it just felt good, and it made my heart smile. And I was like, yo, I'm so glad she left.
Yeah. When I was there, I was like, oh my God, I want to go home. I miss my husband. I miss the kids. And then it was time to come home, and I was like, oh dang,
Mm-hmm.
I want to stay.
It did. How was it for you when you landed, right? And you was walking up that when I was trying to find you in the airport, and I finally found you, and you was walking up. How was that when you first saw me? What was you thinking?
What is he doing?
Because I had a whistle. What did I have? Paint the picture. What did I have when I first saw you? Like coming down.
Yeah, whistle around your neck, and then you had the camera holding it up to my face, and I was like, here he go again.
Mm-hmm. Just, just loving you out loud, just excited to see you.
Mm-hmm.
But look, so the name of this podcast is called the Keisha Husband Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And this has been, in the works, I'll say, more so recently, I want to say within the last few weeks.
Okay.
And the inspiration behind it, like, was when we were about 35 days or so away from the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, baby, what else? I was like, baby, I think we was there. I think we was at the wing spot, Rial's or something. I was like, baby, I wanna start documenting. I think we should start documenting. Leading up to the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, you could do it. I think you could do
I
it.
think that would be nice for you to do.
And I was like, all right, bet I'm gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I started doing it
Yes, you did.
every day faithfully.
Every day.
But before we get to the wedding,
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about how we met.
Mm-hmm.
Because so many people ask me, right? They'll be like, oh no, I understand that you Keisha's husband, but how did you and Keisha meet?
Mm-hmm.
And I want to start it, but I would love for you to interject at any point.
Are we gonna tell how we met from what I remember, or are you gonna tell how you first met, how you first seen me when we were younger and all this other stuff?
It started when we were younger. You were mine. So listen, I'm gonna start there, right? And I'm gonna stop, and then we gonna fast forward to when I seen you again.
Okay.
So it first started when I saw you, on Coco and Shantae porch.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Coco and Shantae. Give it up. Let's give it up for Coco and Shantae, right? Shout out to their porch.
Clap. Can
Oh,
we clap?
Let's give it up. Hand claps.
Yeah,
Hand claps
give
with
it up for my
Shantae.
cousins.
Give it up for the cousins, right?
Mhm.
So, all right, y'all. All right. So, Man,
Calm down now.
calm down, all right?
Not too much on them.
Yeah. So I saw you on their porch,
Mhm.
and I when I saw you, I was like, hold up, who that? And then I just was like, that's Shantae and them cousin, because I heard them saying like, the same way they do now. Y'all was like that when y'all was like we
Mhm.
was young, like cousin and all that, or y'all was like, just like real vibrant on the porch and all that. But I saw you,
Mhm.
but you didn't see me, and I'll admit that.
Mhm.
Rightfully so, because y'all was interested in the guys that seemed cooler at the time.
Well, no.
Okay, all
I
right, go ahead.
wouldn't say that we were interested in the guys that were cooler.
Hmm.
We can admit I'm older than you.
Yeah, for sure.
So I was interested in guys my age.
Right, right.
Okay.
And I didn't understand.
Guys my age or older. Nothing to do with cool because I wasn't that cool when I was younger.
You couldn't tell me that. You look very cool sitting on that step. You look very cool sitting on that step.
We're all finding ourselves.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But at that time, I just saw you, and then it was like it lasted for about like that day, and I saw you. Then after that, it felt like life just went on, and I didn't see you again.
Mhm.
And fast forward, I get a message from Shantae.
Mhm.
And growing up, because you ladies, that group right there, y'all were older than me. I always thought that you guys were cool,
Mhm.
and I respected that.
Mhm.
And when Shantae reached out to me, because I'm a photographer,
Mhm.
she said, "Hey, I'm having a party. I would love for you to do the photography." I was excited to see that message.
Mhm.
I didn't even think that I would see you there, but I just knew that I'm going to be able to see some people that saw me grow up,
Mhm.
and they haven't really seen me in my grown man space,
Mhm.
let alone my photography space.
Mhm.
So I'm like, they about to see me in my own. I'm about to vibe. It's gonna be dope. It's gonna be a vibe.
Mhm.
So I show up to the party, and I'm doing my 1-2. I'm doing my thing, taking pictures and everything. And I couldn't help but, as I'm moving throughout the party, somebody bumped me, right? And as I'm
Mhm.
taking pictures, and I'm used to it when I do events and proms and everything, people are excited to take
I
pictures.
bumped you.
I'm gonna get to it. So
Oh.
people bump me sometimes because they're trying to get a picture as well,
Mhm.
and I never mind it. But this specific person, she had on like this brown dress. Her skin was very soft. I had a t-shirt on too. It was summertime. I felt the skin. I was like, all right, shorty, like just bump me. But then again, I go to take another angle, and you bump me again. She bumped me again,
Mhm.
and I'm like, all right. Then one more time, I'm like, then I see who it was. I'm like, hold up, that's her.
It took you 3 bumps to realize
Yeah,
to pay attention to me.
it hit me, right? It just hit me.
It
Like,
took you 3 bumps to pay attention to me, but you wanted me since you was younger.
yeah, because I'm in the moment. I'm focused. I'm focused on the moment of what I'm hired to do. I'm not there because I've never, as many gigs as I've done, right?
Mhm.
I've always been professional.
Mhm.
I've never pursued nobody there. I've never tried to talk to nobody or nothing. And it's just honest, right?
Mhm.
I've always got in and got out.
Mhm.
So this was the one time that I saw someone there, and
Mhm.
I was like, all right. And I'm thinking you was like purposely bumping me. That was just my mindset. I'm like, yo, shorty bumping me. She want me.
Mhm.
So then 2 minutes later, right? You, Coco, and your cousin Chanel, right?
Mhm.
Y'all take your picture. Y'all vibing right there. I get a picture of y'all. I'm like, ooh, I got a picture of her now. This is the first thing I was thinking. Ooh, I got a reason to interact with her.
Mhm.
But I'm like, but it's a group of them, so I need a solo shot.
Mhm.
So I'm like, all right, waiting for my moment. It's time for me to leave. It wraps up. Then as I'm about to leave, I'm like, can I get a plate? They're like, yeah, you can get a plate. And they're like, hey, is somebody gonna make the photographer a plate? And I was waiting, honestly, I'm waiting for you to be like the volunteer, like, I'll make it. You was like in your own word doing your own thing or whatever,
Mhm.
right? I'm like, she ain't say nothing. I'm like, all right. Someone else offered. I'm like, man, I want her to make my plate.
Mhm.
So
Cause that's
then,
when you was going.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, you was gonna make the plate, and I was gonna really like follow up, and I was gonna, holler at you and talk to you.
Mhm.
Like, can you put your number with that food or something like that? I was gonna say something corny,
I'm glad you didn't.
but I
I'm glad
just,
everything played out the way that it played out.
yeah, no, it did. We gonna talk about how it played out.
Mm.
So the next thing, right? Because the name of this episode is called "Get in Your Bag, Stay in Your Bag," right? And we
Oh
go,
wow.
yeah, I changed it. It's
Mm.
called "Get in Your Bag, Stay in Your Bag," right?
Mhm.
Because from the beginning, I'm gonna remember where I'm at, but from the beginning, I felt as though it's always been about getting in my bag and staying in my bag. And
Mhm.
you told me that, and I'm gonna get to that.
Okay.
But all right, press playback. We at the party.
Mhm.
We at the party, and then I'm leaving. I'm getting my plate.
Mhm.
We there. We vibing, and I'm about to leave, and then I hear a clink. I hear a clink. Something hit the table. I'm like, whoa, what was that? I see a bottle of, the alcohol, the Deleon. I see that. And you were the one putting the bottle down. And I'm
It
like,
was my bottle.
it was your bottle. Shout out to you bringing your own bottle to the function. Everybody don't do that. Everybody don't bring their bottle to the function.
You gotta bring something to the function.
Yeah, you told me that too. Because anytime we go to an event or
You
something,
can't go empty-handed.
I'll be like, we just showing up. You be like, baby, we got to get something right. So we.
Something on your face.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. So I say, excuse me, you mind if I take this picture? Because here's the moment, the solo shot. I'm like, excuse me, you mind if I take this picture of you holding that bottle? And these words right here was all I needed to know about you. You said, sure.
What?
She said, sure, because you're beautiful. Like, you looked very beautiful at the party. I did have some reservations thinking that you were probably going to, like, be stuck, like a little stuck up, or like just a little like mean, or like I was a little intimidated, right?
Well, we know I can be mean.
For sure. You definitely, but not to me.
It was like at that moment I had enough of the liquor where I was just like,
you was ready.
Don't worry about it. Oh, sorry.
You gotta show that off. Yeah. Shout out to the merch right there, the Keisha Husband Podcast merch. But so yeah, I'm listening.
So when you asked me, I was open to it. Cool, no problem.
Yeah. So I was glad you did, because in that moment I was like, I gotta come on my A game. I probably snapped like 6-7 pictures because I ain't want to leave. And I'm like, all right, bet I'm gonna get one. All right, I got one. And I think we exchanged Instagrams and everything like that, right? So
yeah, we did exchange Instagrams, because you was like, can I get your Instagram, so after I'm finished doing what I gotta do to the pictures, I want to be able to like send it to you.
So I went home, edited the pictures right away, right? And I remember asking my brother, I was like, yo, bro, check this out. I sent him the pictures. And it was you holding a bottle. And I was like, what you think, I should post these? He was like, yo, bro, you took these? And I was like, yeah. He said, bro, fire. I was like, all right. I posted them. I put them on Twitter and I put them on Instagram. They went crazy on Instagram. Then on Twitter, they was going crazy. And then in that moment, Diddy, you know what I'm saying? Like, Diddy had retweeted it. And that bottle, the reason why it goes back to this episode being called Get in Your Bag, Stay in Your Bag, is because that bottle right there, when he retweeted that, the anthem of the summer, it became like I feel like it was like and correct me if I'm wrong, but I know that song really spoke to my situation. And I think that it became like an anthem for us, like a party anthem for me and you. And we just turned up to it. And it was just like an energy that we were on. And it was a moment that was created by that picture. And I remember writing you when Diddy retweeted it. I was like, "Ooh, I gotta tell her." And what did I say to you? Do you remember what I said?
We make magic.
I did. I said we make magic. Shout out hand claps for you for remembering that. I was sweating. I'm naturally sweating, but I was like, you remember that. So shout out to you for remembering it. And I said we make magic together, and you was like, we sure do. And you was like, I guess so. And then from there, it was on. It was on. We gonna skip past the spaghetti part because we here now.
That was your version of it?
Yeah, that was my version. Would you like to share?
But my version?
Yeah.
We can skip all the way up into, like you were saying, like I was bumping you, but I felt like you was in my way because I was a guest and I was enjoying myself, and you kept being everywhere I was at, and then I was like, Shantae, like the photographer is on my body. Like every time I turn around, he there. And she was like, who's Sean? He better get his young ass out of here. And I was like, I don't know who he is, but he better get off my body or whatever like that. And then
real bad.
But then once I seen that you were like trying to be like in my space or whatever like that, and I was like, oh yeah, he want to be in my space. So I was just like, he can come in.
Thank you.
It's okay.
I thank you for allowing me to come in. And I ain't want to leave. See, you welcome me with like that softness and that embrace, and that right there, when you allow me to take the picture and everything, anything that I thought the meanest, anything that all went away. And I think that it took courage to say something to you and to just follow through with that with the picture. And I think so many people don't even realize that, like, on the other side of that assumption or fear, it could be their person, it could be their dream, it could be their goal. And you taught me something in that moment. Like, if you see something, go for it. You know what I mean? But then you did kind of, once we started like messaging everything and how we really got locked in, you really like,
Begged you.
you bagged me. You begged. Talk about that. How did you seal the deal? Like, how did you bag me? And you could be real about how I was. You could be real playing.
How I begged you when I was so like secretly, not knowing that I was like going on your page and like not seeing like no activity, so I didn't really know like what was going on. But then me posting stuff and then looking in my views to see if you were like going to like look at it or like that, and then you post something, and then I was like, oh, that you post a solid, and I was like, oh, that looked good, and you was like, you can make me one or something like that.
Yeah.
And then you were like running down your schedule, and I was like, well, what about tomorrow? Situation like that. And then I was like, ain't no time, like the present. And then you just came over. I came over and you made me something to eat.
Yeah. So an important part that you're missing in that is, right. Well, it's coming from my perspective. I was afraid. It's like, I know I wanted you, and I didn't expect you to be like, you can make that for me. Like, when you responded like that, yeah, you can make that for me. I would love some. I was like, oh, I'm gonna be in New York, just trying to be cool a little bit. And I was like, I'm gonna be in New York in like
Making
a
all
week or
these
so.
excuses.
Exactly. I was like, I'm gonna be like in New York. I'm gonna be doing this in a week or two. And when you said there's no time like the present, I really believe, like, in that moment, I was like, yo, I fell for you. I ain't even know you, but I just fell in that moment. Like, yo, I love this. Cause you hear about online sometimes women that say they'll shoot they shot. But I feel like you really was like letting me know, like, yo, I ain't coming to play. Either like I'm bringing this energy or nothing at all. And I knew I had to match that.
Which was so crazy because that's not even like what I was on, and it was just happening.
Yeah. And I just love that, like, directness and that boldness. You just was like, I ain't playing around. I'm just gonna see what the vibe is. Right? Would you say that? Like, just check the temperature, check the vibe.
Yeah, I was just vibing for real because you was coming out of your situation, I was coming out of my situation, and I don't know what you was on, but I was just like, I'm outside and I'm not trying to catch feelings for nobody because this is just like whatever. I'm just out here trying to have a good time.
Right. But the exact way you said it, when you came over, right? We was having a conversation, we talking about music and everything. So I'm sitting there vibing with you, falling in love with you, just chilling. And then the brakes got pumped because I said, so like you really like interested in anybody, or you feel anybody right now?
You said, are you seeing anybody right now, or like do you got a man or whatever like that?
Yeah. Okay, thank you for
Said,
correcting me.
yeah, I said no, I don't got no man. No, you said something along the lines are like, are you in a relationship?
That's what I
He
said.
asked me, was I in a relationship? First of all, red flag. Why would I be in a relationship over your house, bro?
So I don't. Did
That's
I say
insane to me.
Did I say a relationship?
Yes,
Or did I?
you did, because the follow up question was, is anybody in a relationship with you?
Mm,
I said, no, I'm not in a relationship.
yeah.
And then you said, is anybody in a relationship with you? And I was like, I don't know. I ain't got nothing to do with that.
Yeah. So when you said that, I put my brakes because I'm like, all right, she running game now. She said like she don't know that people might be really feeling her. Is she like leading people on? Is she like got people that's in love with her, but she ain't feeling none of them? I thought all of that, and I was like, in my heart, I'm like, yo, man, I want to be in love with you though.
I mean, that's rightfully so, because at the same time, like, we know that. Well, you probably don't know, but because I think you left at that barbecue for my cousin birthday party, we were like taking shots and stuff like that. And we were like, this our summer, we outside, F these men, and we in these streets and this, that, and the third.
Mm-hmm.
Cause when you after you get out of a long term situation and it didn't last what you thought it was gonna last, you're like, I'm not about to go back down that road again.
Yeah.
I'm about to just have some fun.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like where I was at. Yeah, you as a human know like people like you, but me as the person knowing how I am, I'm not going to lead nobody on.
Mm-hmm.
Our time together, our time together, our time apart is our time apart. If I told you what I was on from the beginning and you started feeling the way,
Mm-hmm.
that's not on me.
Yeah.
And you can't make me start changing how I feel about a situation because you on that type time. Like, no,
Mm-hmm.
that's I told you that's not what it was from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say, are you involved in anybody or are you in a relationship with anybody, and I say no, that's what I mean wholeheartedly. If
Mm-hmm.
they in a relationship with me, I don't know. I hope not, and I hope they're not telling people that because if somebody come and ask me that, I'm gonna say no, and then they're gonna be looking crazy.
Mm.
So
Let's give it up for transparency. And I just give it up for transparency and just really being direct. You know what I'm saying? That was dope right there.
I'll tell you all the time.
So when you because so in that moment when you said that, I became reserved, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like,
Yeah, and I was speaking from a place of hurt. Like
mm,
I was speaking from a place of hurt. I feel like I was giving you. I was like, I always say when we had our first interaction with each other, I gave you every reason to leave me alone.
mm.
Every reason to leave me alone, and
Why?
I don't even know why I was doing it.
Mm,
I think I just was at that point where I was like, listen, this is who I am. Either you're gonna accept me for who I am, or just leave me alone.
mhm,
Like you're coming in, like you're dealing with something broken,
mhm,
and I'm working on fixing it.
mhm,
But if you can't handle this, then you darn sure can't handle what's fixed. You know what I'm saying? So
mm,
I was like, yo, and that goes to when I like fell in love with you,
mm.
and then that was when I was trying to like, yo, like you about to be my boyfriend or what? And you was like, but you said, and I was like, I don't care what I said.
Yeah, I'm like you said, but you said what you said,
Mm-hmm.
and then I became scared. Like I really remember being like afraid
Mm-hmm.
because you know I experienced so you what you express as being some broken pieces and things like that. I had just been
Mm-hmm.
experiencing that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't see it. Of course, I can't see it within myself, but I see you as somebody that's worth it. Like I didn't know what you had experienced.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know, but just from the exterior, you just seemed worth it, and just the interactions we had,
Mm-hmm.
and just I could just feel your like spirit. Like I could
Mm-hmm.
just feel your spirit and your soul and just your vibe. And
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I want to like really look into this. Like I gotta
Yeah.
see what it's hitting for. And it's scary, excuse me, because it's different, but I want to see what it's hitting for.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely was scary. Cause I'm like, I literally like sat in my car and I was like, why the hell did I just tell that man all that stuff and I don't know him from a can of paint?
Mm. Shout out to the car, right? Because the next time you sat in the car, right, it was a situation where, you know, I was trying to push you away,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I remember like regretting that in the moment. And I'm glad you like the next I would like for you to share what happened
What happened with what?
when you were in the car. It was a
Meaning like the conversation that I had with my baby mom?
yeah,
Oh.
baby mama's best friend. Her best friend, baby mom. That's what it is. All right.
Yeah. That's mercy. Um so I called her and I was like, what did I say? I said something along the lines of I'm falling for him and based off of, like all the stuff that I said when we first met, he a little like resilient, like not like standoff to to like the idea of us being together because he don't want to like get hurt or anything like that based off of what I said.
Mm-hmm.
And she automatically was like, "Oh my God, don't call nobody. Don't do what you usually do and start, picking up these rebounds. Just, try to figure it out." I was like, I'm not even on it. I'm not even worrying about nobody else. Like, I'm trying to figure out what this situation is because this is where I want to be. And, like, I really love him.
Mm.
And she was like, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. So when you like called me and you were downstairs, I was surprised. Cause I'm like, wait, is this the woman that told me like that had that
I was like, I'm
energy?
about to go back over there because
Yeah.
I left. I
Mm-hmm.
left. I left your apartment because I was just like, he not about to play with me. Like I'm some nut John.
Yeah.
And then I left, and then I like drove off, and then I like stopped, made the phone call, had the conversation with her. And then I was like, I'm calling you back because I'm just gonna go back over there.
Yeah.
And then I came back. You let me up. We had our conversation about whatever, and you was still on some nut shit.
Mm.
And I left again.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
You ain't leave since. You
Hmm?
you ain't leave since.
Well, I left and I went home for a little bit.
Yeah. But I'm saying like in life right now,
Oh
like
yeah.
I got meaning like basically what I'm saying is I got my act together
Mm.
because I ain't want to see you leave again.
Mm.
Because it took for you to leave for me to like sit with myself and get out my own way because what was happening was I was experiencing some unhealed hurt
Mm.
and I was like putting that on you and something that you've had to say throughout our relationship is I ain't her.
Mm.
You had to tell me I'm not her.
Mm.
And anytime you said that, it's like I snapped out of it and I realized that you weren't her.
Mm.
And that her is, the past pain or my ex. And everybody has a her or a
That
him.
doesn't deserve any recognition or to
Oh yeah, none
talk
of that.
about
No
at all.
energy. None of that. None of that.
But when we was having that conversation, or like when I had left and all that other stuff, was that because I told you I love you?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it wasn't like
You didn't do
I
nothing.
was, because it wasn't like I was saying like I want to be with you,
Mm-hmm.
but it was kind of like me going against everything that I told you when we first had our first interaction, and me coming out and telling you like I love you and I'm not looking for you to like say it back
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not trying to rush you to feel the feelings that I'm feeling or to express the feelings that I'm expressing because I am doing it right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that scared me. I think that's what it was that scared me in that moment because for me, I remember the last thing somebody said, and a lot of the times back then, the words would speak louder than the actions.
Mm.
So your actions, you were showing up, like physically showing up and being there, like, calling and showing me that you really wanted this. So but your words, I just was stuck on, you remember I would bring it up, like I was stuck on, like, but you said this, and
Mm.
it's just, I'm just going, thinking about the outside or like, ain't nobody with me. And I'm like,
Mm.
man, just basically just fighting my
Ain't
own mind.
nobody with me, but at the same time, he's everywhere I'm at.
Yeah, exactly.
Every event, he's there. I drop
You
the kids
calling,
off to school before I go to work. I'm there.
mm-hmm,
I come there after work.
mm-hmm.
Wake up in the middle of the night to get home to take the kids to school. Like I'm there,
All of,
and
yeah.
my actions and my words were matching, but he was just stuck on what I said when we first met.
Mm-hmm. So it took some conversations and for you to like look me in my eyes and me to feel that sincerity, for you to say like, I want you to fight against that.
Mm.
And I told you, I was like, I got you. And he was like, I hear you.
Mm-hmm.
And what one of the things that I love most about you is like your actions really your mouth, what you say, what you say, you said, because that's in your bio to this day. And I was that's when I knew I really liked you, when I read your bio on Instagram.
Kevin Gates.
Yeah, and I've learned that recently. I heard the song. I was listening to Kevin Gates. He said, my actions must utter what my word. What did he say? What is it?
What does it say?
My actions must prove what my mouth utters. There have been times where, I might have, like in the past, I might have been like, I say I'm gonna do this, say I'll do that, but I always hear your voice saying, "There's no time like the present. Why put off today? Why put off for tomorrow what you could do today?" And with my actions, what my mouth say, what my mouth utters, my actions must prove. I always think about that. So that just like inspired me to just be like, you know what? I'm gonna be a man of my word, and I'm gonna just show up, right? So in our relationship, I just was like, I can't play around. And then I felt like you were in really direct contact with God from the rip, and I've never experienced nothing like this. Here's this woman that was talking crazy, talking like, with a little personality and attitude and just swag. And this is why you can't like judge somebody. You can't judge a book by its cover, because you really embody everything God says and the Bible says about love. And I felt that from the beginning. Like you really embody that. Like the softness, the love, like the patience, the kindness. And everybody don't get that.
Nope.
Everybody don't get that. I'm very lucky and fortunate to get that. So when I experienced that from you, I just was like, man, like I'm holding on to it. But I felt like God was like, this is my daughter, don't play with her. He said, don't play with it, don't play with it, don't play with it. God told me that.
Yeah, everybody was like, we ain't never see her like this.
Yeah, and I love every time. Please keep telling me that, because it's just so dope when we go to functions and your people be like, oh my God, this is my man, my man, my man. Or this is, oh my God, I'm so happy to meet you. And I've never seen her like this. That's incredible, babe. Like, and I be hyped, I love that. I love hearing it. I act like I ain't never hear it from them. I be like, hey, what you, I just love hearing them tell me that, because that just shows growth, and that just shows that like you in a safe space. You in a safe space. So I want to ask you, excuse me, my bad. The mic was too close. I keep the mic close like Scottie Pippen. That was kind of fire. Was it? That was kind of fire. Keep the mic close like Scottie Pippen. All right, my bad.
All right.
I'll drag it. So, baby, when, or not even when, how do I create a safe space for you? Or how have I created a safe space for you? You don't have to name a specific moment or anything, but just how have I created a safe space for you? Oh, real quick, bro, before you answer this, I just want to say this episode is brought to you by the good folks over at Handidviewss. No job too big, no moment too small. Shout out to Handidviewss. Let's give it up for the good folks at Handidviewss. All right, baby, go ahead. You got the floor.
The question was, how did you create?
How have I created a safe space for you?
You have created a safe space for me in multiple ways. In so many, not so many words, just being you.
What does that mean?
Relax, okay?
No, go ahead. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Just being patient, understanding, easy to talk to, encouraging, happy, very, very contagious, bubbly, happy, go lucky, personality, spirited person. So it just gives, that's what it's supposed to be when you're around, which unlocks that like string inside of me that just like allows me just to be this person.
That's dope.
Is it?
That's really dope, because this person, right, from what I've heard from your people, or what I've heard from you, this right here isn't you. Like,
it is me, but I've never been able to be this person.
Thank you so much for correcting that. This is you, but I've helped you. I've created this space for you to be this person, to bring this out.
Right.
Man, that's deep. No, that's really deep because, babe, I love that you are stepping into that because you create a safe space for me to be this way. Because in return, you probably think like, I think I've been 10% of who I am in the past. Excuse me, right? But being with you has unlocked a level of joy, happiness, mentally, spiritually. Like I'm on 110% every day, right? And excitement because I got my person. Like for real, like people talk about like before we got married, right? And before I met you, I have mentors and I have friends, and you see movies, right? Just think about that. You see movies, you think about life. People talk about how happy they are and like that level of happiness or commitment, right? And you just
That you
like
only see in the movies sometimes.
that you only see in the movies. That fairy tale love, right?
The
And it's
beginning of the relationship love.
what they call it though,
The cupcake phase.
cupcake stage or honeymoon phase or whatever, right? I can like sit here and tell you wholeheartedly, I feel like
that every day.
every single day. Like I feel like that every single day I wake up and go to sleep. Throughout my day, I just be hype. And that's how this whole, the hashtag.
Well, I ain't get there yet.
Well, you ain't get where?
To feel it like all day.
And that's okay.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm still like trying to find like my passion and like what it is I want to do, where you already like have that figured out. So like your happiness is at a like 360. Whereas like I gotta go to a job where I'm like, these motherfuckers about to get on my nerves. Or like, let me call my husband so I can put a smile on my face and just like get myself together real quick because I'm about to snap on somebody.
Yeah.
Like I come out of that as soon as I enter somewhere where my vibe is just like disrupted because of like the people that I'm around and stuff like that. I'm still trying to learn how to navigate and not allow that to disrupt me, which goes into like my spiritual journey with God and everything like that. So like I feel like you have that a lot more than I have it. So it's not nothing with me and you, because even when you are like in your moments, when you have like that quick, and I'll be looking at you, I'm like, babe, what's wrong? And you try to tell me nothing, and I'll be like, this guy,
I'm lying.
all the time. Like I know that you're lying all the time.
And then I come
And
right
then
back
we
though.
come right back, and I'm like, I always want the cupcake phase.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Yeah. It is possible, and it's very much so possible. And I feel that in those moments after we talk through and work through whatever that obstacle is, and it can feel larger than what it really is. And it's not until me and you talk that I realize it's small. But before me and you talk, it feels large. And I attribute that to just God, because whenever I talk to you, I feel like I'm on a three-way call with God. Like I always feel like that. And I receive everything you say with love and grace. And I think that that's how it's supposed to be. I really do. Like I just really do. And you said something that I've never heard you say. Like you talked about just now, me having, like my passions and everything. So my happiness and joy is 360. And I think that man, that does make sense. And that does make sense because I think about all the aspects or there's moments in my life where like, all right, I got this thing I'm passionate about, boom. I got my person, boom. I got my family, boom. And all of these things bring me joy, whether it's like in the morning time, I enjoy rolling over and saying, hey baby, I'm about to turn the shower on for us. Like, I like that where I'm like, hey baby, I gotta shoot, or baby, this is going on with this, or this going on with that. And the like also you talked about how you like, let me call my husband, hear about that, and it takes your mind off of that. And when we was in the car yesterday, we was just riding, and I was excited about the plans, these things that I am excited about doing,
Mm-hmm.
and I was hesitant to tell you because not because of you, but because there I have been in unsafe spaces where I can't share what's going on because it'll get diminished or it won't be received with love or excitement. So you said, no, baby, it's good news. Tell me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, for real? All right,
Are
bet.
you? I don't know if you have the capacity for me to talk to you about that. I'm like, boy.
Tell me. And that's
And
what,
you already, even if it's not good news, you already know. Once you done said something, my anxiety go through the roof.
yeah, you be wanting to know.
I don't need you trying to get no words together. Like, just say it.
Right. And you, can I share with you how you taught me to speak up
Mm,
and not be afraid?
mm.
So just being transparent, it was a bill that I'm gonna just be. Can I share about that?
If that's what you want to
Yeah,
do.
it was a bill that I felt I basically like, I thought I was taken care of, and I fell behind on it. Right? I'm like, you call me, you like, hey baby, when you paid the such and such bill, and I'm like, yeah. You like, oh, because they said this. I'm like, they lying. You like,
Man, them people said they want their money and they want it now.
you said, all right. You called me back 3 minutes later with the lady on the
The
line.
lady on the phone.
You said,
Yes,
baby.
sir, what you told me.
I said, huh? Hello? She said, hello? I was like, who this? You said, babe, it's the people on the phone. Tell her what you said. The lady right at me.
I was like, because my husband said he paid that bill.
You right at me, and I'm stuttering. I'm over there like looking through my phone like, I know I paid it. And I'm like, hold up. I thought I paid it. The last time, the lady says it as I see. She says, no, sir. The last time you paid this was in, what she say?
I don't know.
Like this, something like
But it ain't
December,
when you said you paid
November. She said November. And it was like, when was it? Like March, April, or something like that. And I was like, hey, baby, she ain't lying. I think,
It is no such thing as gender rules. But ladies, get that money from that man and pay them bills.
yeah.
Because he was not paying, he was paying one bill multiple times. He wasn't paying, he was paying the PGW bill instead of the Pico bill. And he like, they both look alike.
They both blue. I'm like, they both got, when you take the bills out, they both are blue, right? But also, here's the thing. You taught me something in that moment. There's no such thing as gender roles, and communication is key, and we are a team. What I was doing was, I was going off of what society says a man should do. The post that women will post about, right? Excuse me. Women will say, man got to take care of all the bills. Man got to do this. Man got to do that. What you taught me in that moment was, I'm not them.
Mm,
Communicate with me.
mm.
And what I was doing was, every time a bill would come, I'm thinking I'm being the man. I'm grabbing him
And
and
putting it on his desk.
I'm putting them on my desk, grabbing them, putting them on my desk.
I ain't even seeing them come.
You ain't seeing them come, but I'm thinking that I'm the man. I think that's what a man's supposed to do, because I read it online. The women ain't got to look at the bills. But what you told me in that moment was, baby, first of all, whenever is an issue, let's communicate. Tell me what it is from the beginning. Talk to me. And then let me in. Let me know what the bills is. And I said, you know what, baby, moving forward, whenever the bills come, I'm going to share it I'm going to let you know what it is. And you was like, all right, boom, just give me the money.
Yep, give me the money. I said, no, don't give me money. I said, when you pay it, send me a confirmation. Put my number as the text for the confirmation.
Yeah.
So that I know. So when these people come and I'm jumping down their throat, I want to make sure I know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. And I appreciated that, because ever since then, I think I've been getting better with telling you things that need to be told. Like I be excited to tell you, like not excited if it's like, I'm not excited that it is that situation, but whatever the situation is, I'll be excited to tell you. I'll be like, oh, babe, look at this, and you be like, all right, and you meet it with so much grace and love,
Mm.
you know.
You're
So
welcome.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that, and you have shown me so much grace and compassion, and also accountability,
Mhm.
right? And goes back to the whole theme of getting in your bag, staying in your bag. It was a time when I think I was tired, and this was before you became a member at the church,
Mhm.
and this is where I believe that our spiritual connection like really ignited and got tight and been tight ever since. And it showed me that you were different. I already knew you was different, but this right here is what really, really, really did it. I was laying down and you were like, "Hey, don't you got to go to the youth group?"
Mhm.
And I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm tired." You're like, "God don't care about that." I was like, I looked at her and was like, "You right. All right, I'm going."
Because if I would have said I want to get something to eat, you would have jumped up.
Exactly. Or if you would have said, "Let's watch a movie," I would have said, "All right, let's do it."
Mm.
But you held me accountable, and I appreciated that because that right there was just like that was that's how you really hold somebody accountable spiritually. Like, yo, you made a commitment to be at that youth group
Mm.
or my routine, right? I love that you didn't, you know, you created an energy of I'll be here when you get back. Basically that.
Mm.
Because I was experiencing abandonment issues, from, my past with my mom.
Mm.
So I was afraid that if I left you or if I wasn't around you, that you would forget about me or you would not come back. And
Mm.
and I don't even know if I ever really like, I might have expressed that.
Mm.
I did. And you always reminded me through your actions that
I ain't going nowhere.
I ain't going nowhere. I'll be right here.
Mm.
So when it was going time for the gym, right? Every morning, I loved when you asked me, "How was your workout?"
Mm.
Or you'll text me and say, "Hey, you on your way to the gym?" And even if I was struggling to get out of the bed, you texted me that gave me fuel to get to the gym. Or I looked forward to you asking me afterwards, "How was your workout?" Because I'm like, she gonna ask me. And if I didn't go, I'm like, she gonna ask me how was my workout. What I'm gonna say, I ain't go. Because if I told you I ain't go, you'd be like, "Oh damn, you bullshitting." Or like, you just say something like so raw, so real and direct that you can't get mad at it.
A lot of people do
What?
get mad at me.
I can't help but not get mad at it. Maybe the unhealed me would have gotten mad at it.
Yeah.
But this version of me, I love it. Like I
Like, why you
embrace.
coming at me?
Yeah, like I don't, because I was definitely a defensive person before you,
Mm.
but marriage has unlocked a level of accountability and just what's the word, like accountability and just obedience.
Mm.
It really has unlocked a level of obedience that I can't even deny. I can't even like shake off, right? So we were driving. It's always like when we driving, right? We no, yeah, we were driving. You know what I'm about to talk about. We was, oh, you don't, we not there. All right, we we was driving, and you were like, "Baby, I feel like no, you said about photography. What did you say about me not being focused?"
I said you pushed it to the wayside. You didn't really care about it.
Mm-hmm. And
I asked you.
you asked me,
Mm.
and it
I asked you. I said I know that you are really invested in getting this podcast up and running, but what's going on with photography? You pushing it to the side. You don't really care about it no more. And then that opened up a gate of conversation that I didn't even know needed to be happened.
yeah. And I just want to say, man, fellas, not any woman. If you get the right woman, a lot of the things, mostly everything, right, for me, but I don't know people like what everything, but nah, I really view everything you say. I digest it with love, like I receive it with love and
Mm-hmm.
grace because I truly believe that um you getting it from God. Like I'm truly feel like God is using you as a vessel to talk to me because other than you saying it to me, I've
It was
asked them.
something you was just battling with by yourself,
Yeah.
and it wasn't like it was something that was just like on my mind. I was like, I've been meaning to ask you. Like, I was just riding towards him, and we were having this conversation. But the conversations lately have just been about Keisha Husband podcast.
Hmm.
Like, he ain't said nothing about photography. Like, he not worrying about booking nothing. He don't like. I'm just like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like, yo, what's going on with photography? You don't care about it no more. You just pushing it to the side.
Hmm.
And then you was like, well, since since God has put it on your heart, let's
Like
talk
let's
about it.
let's talk about it. And I think that men, we really need a. That's why it's important to have a safe space because I felt, I felt some like some truth to that,
Mm,
and it there was a moment where like I took a lesson,
mm-hmm,
like I however the lesson happened. Should I
mm-hmm.
do I need to say it like?
No, I'm glad you said a lesson that I lost.
Yeah, for sure. I knew
Mm-hmm.
you would appreciate that. I knew you would appreciate that. So I experienced a lesson,
Mm-hmm.
however it happened, and it hit me.
Mm-hmm.
And while that was hitting me, it was easier for me to
Running high from it
run it high from it.
than to face it head on.
Yeah, and it wasn't until like I've at different points I would feel it come out. Like people would ask me like, "Hey, inquire about a booking or ask me, hey, how's photography going?" And of course, I would give them like nice answers, but then brush over it. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, doing everything. But this is what's going on
Mm-hmm.
because it was easier to get away from that hurt that I experienced.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until we and you had that conversation in the car that I was able to unpack that and I was able to tell you like truthfully, hey baby, I was hurt by the lesson that I got. And it I think that it humbled me,
Mm-hmm.
that God really slowed me down and humbled me, and you lit a fire under
Slowed
me.
you down for sure because you wasn't sticking to the core values of your business.
Mm. And you sensed that.
No, that's what we said. That's what we had. Well, that's what we had talked about in that conversation,
Yeah.
like the turnaround and the timing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If you would have did it when you were supposed to do it, that wouldn't have happened. But because you were worried about getting upstairs to me or
Hmm.
doing was whatever you was doing with me, you was like, I could get back to that. It wasn't a priority when it should have been.
Yeah. Right. That's definitely the truth because I could look back on that moment. I was like excited,
Mm-hmm.
excited to get up, and you would always ask me. You always ask me, hey, how the photos come out? You did the photos, and I can recall the last those around that time. I was like, oh, I'm gonna get to it, or oh yeah, it's this like that. I'm gonna do it. And then that next morning, I had another shoot,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like scattering everything together just to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw what happened.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh babe, boom, this happened, and it's like, but if I would have just taken my time, if I would have put, if I would have did that,
Put
and
it
not
first.
thinking you gonna get up and go somewhere.
We live together.
We live together. My office is in the basement. Our bedroom is upstairs, and I'm just like excited to get upstairs. Like I'm not gonna go upstairs with you.
Mm-hmm.
And in that conversation, I was just like, I know what I got to do,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why the conversation that happened after that, something is being birthed in a beautiful way, and I'm excited about that. We ain't gonna talk about it just yet, but I'm excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that leads me to my next question. Since we're talking about our marriage and just communication, I just want to ask you, how has it been? Because we've been married for a month now.
Going on 2 years.
Going on, ooh, I like that you know that. Going on 2 months,
Why
right?
wouldn't I know that?
Hey, shout out to us for being married almost 2 months, man. How has it been being married for about 2 months?
Easy.
Yeah.
Mm. It's supposed to be hard.
No. No, I
Oh.
love that. That was an easy. I mean, that was a great answer, and that's not a common. I think people like to. I think people look forward to saying, just giving long those answers to make it seem like it's more than what it like the difficultness or like it's work this and that, this and that. No, I like that. It's easy. I
Mm.
like that. Oh, if you wondering what she looking at, our daughter in the studio. Shout out to Hanaya in the building. Let's give it up for Hanaya. What's up,
Stop
Naya?
spinning, child.
You bored? Naya always say she bored. That's I mean, we be rocking all the time, right, Naya? You good? You all right? You ready to you gonna be the guest next week? You gonna come talk next week? Yeah. Shout
Sit
out.
down.
All right,
Bubble tea. Remember that.
that's the goal. She gonna get her tea. So yeah, all right, for me, I'll say you wanna ask me how's it been being married.
How has it been to be married for almost 2 months? To me,
I feel like the way SpongeBob feel going to the
the easy answer.
sensational. It's been sensational.
It's cool. It's cool.
It's cool, you know. It's all right, you know what I'm saying.
Mhm.
You know, it's cool. Yeah, no, so I'm glad, right?
Mm.
And all right, I just want to ask you this though, and you kind of answered it, but I just want to ask you, and you
I
can give me the
probably
easy.
did answer.
And let me give you the easy answer. I
Uh-huh.
mean, give me the easy answer.
Mhm.
How is this relationship different than any other relationship that you've experienced?
The relationship is different because I am able to be 100% me from the beginning
Mm,
and love the way I want to show my love or display my love without thinking that it's like being taken for granted or doing it just to like see that person happy, but me also being happy as well. If that answers your question.
yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That does answer it. And I don't even. I think it's very evident to me, like and to you, how this relationship is different. So I ain't even gotta, you know.
You can say it. I know you want to say it.
All right, cool. So do you want to know if you would like to know? Go ahead, ask. Go ahead, ask it. Go ahead, ask me. I want to know. Go ahead, ask me.
The question was really long, so I don't remember it
So how is?
verbatim. But
Say it in your own way.
how is this relationship different from any other relationship? Well, first of all, it's different because we married.
Definitely.
Let's just put that
Man,
out
let's
there.
give it up for us being married.
But
Hold up, do it one time. Let me get it one time. Oh, you know what I mean? All right, cool.
he got me this ring. People notice all the time, and I'm like,
It's a vibe.
okay, all right.
No, God got you that. God got you that ring. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a
Yeah.
vessel, you know. Shout out to the ring.
Yeah, shout out to the ring. I could have just took a band, but I appreciate it.
No, you
It's
deserve
like,
it, babe.
this is a lot,
You deserve it.
and a lot of people are talking to me about it.
You deserve it.
But I love it nonetheless.
Mm-hmm. I love mine too.
How is this relationship or how is this marriage different? Or how has this marriage allowed you to experience love? And that's it.
I just want to say you ask really great questions. Because sometimes you hit me with questions, you know, randomly you be like, babe, you ask me questions, and then I try to hit you back with it.
Yeah.
What you be saying?
No.
I'll be like, damn, I ain't thinking that. You be asking good questions, but simple. You created a safe space. You created a safe space, and we got God in this. This is my first relationship ever with God in it, and that excites me. I'm so hyped.
It definitely is the first relationship that I've ever been in where I me and my partner share the same faith.
That's huge. Like
Mm-hmm.
to be able to share your faith with somebody
Mm.
in 2024,
Just and ever.
just and ever, because
Mm-hmm.
it's forever. But I mean, like just to be able to share your faith with your person
Mm-hmm.
that's like top tier,
Mm.
that's amazing. That's like goals.
Yeah, because a lot of people say that it doesn't matter or it does
Mm-hmm.
because it be things that people practice that goes with like how they live their life, and if you guys are not on that same page,
Mm-hmm.
then it's always going to be something.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah, I
plays
agree.
a major role.
Yeah. All right. So we getting down to my last two questions. All right. No, go ahead. What you thinking? Go ahead, baby.
Two more questions. I didn't think that it was that many on the paper when you sent me. You sent me an email, you guys.
I sent you an email. How did it look? Tell me. Talk about the presentation. Go ahead.
The presentation was amazing.
Go ahead. Talk about it.
I was scrolling. I was scrolling through my email. Ain't nobody emailing me, first of all, but Bath and Body Works and stuff like that. But
Shout out to
I'm
Bath
an
and Body.
adult now. Instead of scrolling on social media, I open and close my email a million times a day.
You do in the morning time after you be reading your prayer, right? I'll be peeping. You read your prayer and then you look at your email. I'm like,
all right, I'm unsubscribed from some places, but I was like, um, I don't know if I told you this, but there's an older woman at my job. Her name is Miss Arlene.
Shout out
She's
to Miss
like my
Arlene.
spiritual mother at work. I adopted her. I don't know if she adopted me. She was like, "Girl, I'm gonna pray for you," and I'm like, "Please do mention me by my first and last name."
That's love.
But I was like, my husband sent me an email. I'm a guest on his podcast, and I just was cheesing from ear to ear reading it. Like, this boy is really crazy. But yeah, it made me happy. It was very professional, very official. Got the little logo, the order of process of how the whole thing is supposed to go. Whole time we did not follow it, but
No, we didn't.
he
But
did
it's.
what he had to do, and
Mm-hmm.
it was given what it was supposed to be, what was supposed to be gave. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, shout
I
out to
appreciated that. Felt very official.
us, right?
Mm.
So with that being said, so knowing that you know you when I saw you, you had this like beauty but hard exterior. I think that that may be the case for a lot of men,
Mm-hmm.
and I just want to ask from the woman's perspective, what
I
if?
mean, I could be a real nigga at times,
I mean,
but
always you definitely
I go
you
with the women's side of things right now.
please. I know you're a thug.
I'm
You
try to go with the women's side of things because I
let's
don't speak for myself.
all right.
I am not like these other women
You're
out here.
not. You're definitely not. But if you can give some advice, if you could give some advice for um a woman that's out there, whether she's a Taurus, I know I just put your sign out there, whether she's a Taurus
Which
or
has nothing to do with
nothing to
anything.
do with it. But I just want to say, I think that I should go in the Husband's Hall of Fame because I have a Taurus that is soft. You know what I'm saying? That's in love. I got a Taurus in love, and that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But for the woman that's out there, any sign, right? All
Mm-hmm.
jokes aside,
Mm-hmm.
for the woman that's out there that may have a hard exterior due to whatever she experienced in life, what advice can you give her because she might be this close to giving up on love and being outside forever? What advice can you give a woman that wants love but has this hard exterior and is afraid of taking a chance on love? What advice can you give? Does that make sense?
Don't be afraid to be uncomfortable.
Mm.
Stop doing everything that is comfortable for you because that's what's messing you up. That's
Mm-hmm.
why you keep following the same routine, falling for the same people over and over again, and continuing to get hurt. That's insanity.
Mm. And you took,
You're looking for something to change, and it's not happening
yeah.
because you are not doing the work for yourself and allowing yourself to be uncomfortable in your growth. When you're uncomfortable, you switching up your routine and you're introducing yourself to new things. You have to be open to those new things.
Mm-hmm.
I was open to those new things, and I got my husband in my ring.
Show the one time Tony Ayo dance. You know what I mean? All right, I like that. I like that. I love that. And thank you for that.
You're welcome.
All right, now, what is something that you've had to unlearn something that you've had to heal from, and how will that or how has that helped you love?
E- um, One thing that I heal from is my daddy issues, and um one another thing that I had to unlearn is don't dim the way you are, like not the way you are, but like don't stop loving because you was loving the wrong person. Kind of like just because the person that you were giving your love to wasn't receiving it in the way that you were, don't stop loving the way that you do, because one day you're gonna love the right person and they're gonna love you back.
That's beautiful. That's
That's
beautiful.
it.
That's it. All right. Is there anything before we go? Is there anything that you want to say? You want anything? No pressure. Do you want to ask or say or anything while we here?
I tell you all the time, I love you and I need you
I love
and
you.
I want you.
I love when you tell me that. Though. And can you never stop saying that?
I'll think about it.
Please.
Mm-hmm.
I got you. All right, we locked in forever.
Mm-hmm.
And I love you so much, baby. And I appreciate you for being here.
Mm-hmm.
And this has been an amazing episode of the Keisha Husband Podcast. I think it's safe to say we done.